What is your name and where are you from?
I'm Stephen Foreman. I'm from Virginia, originally from Jersey.
All right. How did you originally hear about my website?
We kind of touched on this. I couldn't get the F chord on the guitar, right? I was getting frustrated, and so I said, let me try the piano. Found someone online who said it's just target practice. So that made
Yeah.
me think, oh, this is gonna be easy. I don't have to do F chord, and yeah, I wasn't crazy about it because then I found your site again, and for the reasons why, had the songs I wanted, like the way you broke the songs up. I just like your interaction with me as a student was fun,
Yeah.
and pace. I was able to dabble around, and at the same time, fate had it. You had the lifetime subscription. I just signed up immediately,
Good.
and I
Yeah.
just took. But I didn't know any better. I just thought that was a normal thing you were offering.
Yeah.
But that's how it started. I went at an old, believe it or not, 1800s upright piano from France or something in my house, and I was going to get it fixed to
Yeah.
play. And I realized after doing some research, I realized you can't, replacement parts or keeping it tuned or go out of tune. I was like, let me just buy a piano. So I asked my wife if I can invest in a piano. She said yes. I was going to get an upright, but then she saw I focused on this a Samick piano,
Yep.
electronic. I wasn't going to go crazy, but as soon as we saw the mini baby grand piano, we had to have that instead. So I shoved that, made room for it in the
Good.
front. I don't use half of the stuff on the piano, but the one thing I did learn to use real quick were the headphones. So plug in the headphone. No one has to hear me playing. No one had to go through
Wonderful. Yes.
of me struggling to figure out where the A, but the A
Yeah.
key was, that kind of thing and now that I can play a little bit, I don't have to do it. But when I practice and they're asleep, headphones are perfect.
There you go.
So yeah, that's how I started. I've stuck with these since, and really I bounced around some. I've looked at other places just to see, okay, maybe I'm missing something, or maybe there's a new way to learn. But I think I've learned that there's no easy way to do this,
That's right.
and I like your way. I'm willing to stick with it. I'm 100% happy with where I've gotten, even though it's been 7 years. But I don't put in a lot of practice as much as I should. So I understand that the more I put in, the more I practice the correct way. I
Yeah.
saw that the very first day on your site was how to practice. I
Yeah.
copied it, I put it on my computer, and I read it over and over again. Did I
Good.
follow it? No, of course not. Went bouncing the songs.
But if you
You know,
ever want to do that, yeah, you have it.
it's
You
there.
hit, the headphones are also good for drum lessons too. If you have electronic drum.
Yes.
Uh, let's see, let me get to the next one here. What did you
All right.
like most about my method? What do you like most about
Uh,
it?
well, it kind of blends with the other one. I definitely like the letters, of course, like probably thousands of other students that you had, right? Instead of the notation. Although I've
Yeah.
dove into your notation classes, and I've tried to stick with that. And I figured maybe if I'm struggling with a song or whatever, or rhythm or vamping, whatever my problem is, that I'll just delve into an instructional video and, notes. Let me just try that for a while and then come back. Kind
Yeah.
of clears my mind, refreshes me.
Yeah.
And I like that the fact that your site has all these things. I mean, even guitar lessons, for goodness sakes, right?
Yeah.
I was like, man, even guitar lessons on your site.
Yeah.
And so it just works better for me, I think. As long I'm sure all your students say the same thing.
Yeah. Some people's brains just work differently. And you guys always seem to be the real highly intelligent, smart, think outside of the box, creative, talented people, for whatever reason that is. But that's a compliment to you guys. Um, so, what makes my lessons different from the other lessons out there? Like if you get on YouTube and you look at mine, look at others, other websites, what's different about mine that attracts you?
Um, let's see. Um, there's one site that offered like it's probably an example, so I don't keep saying the same thing over again. It's one site where he talks about learn the blues in 10 days, that kind
Yeah,
of thing. And I did try, it was free. I
that's a
went on
lot.
it. I was like, it was so hard. I was ready to quit in like a day. I was like, this is too hard. I mean, the site was beautiful, the beautiful notation and the scrolling
Yeah,
but oh my gosh, I was like, this is impossible. Then I go to your site and go back to the blues lessons that I started before. It was so much better at a level that I thought I could follow and eventually get better.
yeah,
So it's not like you're so, even though you have difficulty songs, level. You don't throw them right at someone and say, just learn a piece of this and you'll get it at a time. And this is easy and just do this. And
Yeah.
well, that is a lot better at your site for that. Yeah. But it is nice to look at other sites and say, what are other people doing, to get people to learn the piano? And there's a lot of crazy stuff out there.
Yeah. Well, I've seen that. Learn the piano in 10 days. Learn the piano in 7 days is a
Yes.
big one now. And I just can't say that because I know it's a lie. I know it's going to be hard work. So, I want to tell people, yes, it's going to be hard, but here's how you can go at it. Um, so yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
Mhm.
What on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you with my lessons?
Well, for me, I definitely have to go with the 10. I mean, really, like I said, I could spend the rest of my life trying to learn those. I won't get through a quarter of them, half of them, of the one, and those are the ones I really want to learn. There's some on
Yeah.
there that I couldn't, obviously couldn't care less about, and there's some on there, like yesterday, I started writing down things and thinking about Frank Sinatra, and I went on your site. I went to difficulty, and there was a Frank Sinatra, the one for my baby. I had no idea that was on there. It's one of my favorite Frank Sinatras. Now, can I play it? Not at all. It's way, but I've tried to do difficult songs before, like, um, the New York State of Mind, I think is pretty difficult, or
Yeah.
Scenes of Italian Restaurant. That's difficult.
Sure. Yes.
And I've learned a lot of pieces of that. So I sometimes I don't let that level get to me. I mean, I'm willing to try it. I
Right.
watched the video of that,
Willing to
and
try.
I know there's no way I can play that Frank Sinatra song, but maybe someday, and maybe a piece of it, which is
That's
my
a
MO
wonderful
anyway.
attitude. Steve, that's why you're still going because of the attitude you just expressed there. I wish everyone else could do what you just said. Because not everyone's going to be, Billy Joel or Elton John. I mean, I've spent my life doing this, and you're not trying to spend your life doing it. It's just for fun. And the
Yeah.
way that you're going at it is perfect. Don't change a thing. Last question. Would you recommend me to a family member or friend? And if so, why?
Yeah, so I always told my family that the music, try to get into it. My wife, I have two boys, 26 and 22, and once I bought the piano, they're all like pouncing on trying to do the Office theme or Game of Thrones theme on there. And I said, look,
Yeah.
there's lessons on here. You can try. Look what I'm doing here. I said, there's guitar lessons, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're into it as much as I am. But so I encourage the family, but also I've encouraged plenty of friends and coworkers when they ask me, where did I learn to play? And I go to webpianoteacher.com. This is where I've been for so many years. This is why I go here. I said, just try them out. I said, there's so many on there, but this is the one that I like. And you just have to
Yeah.
find someone that you can relate to as far as lessons. So yeah, I get your name out there all the time. If I had business cards, I'd probably pass them out for you.
Awesome, Stephen. Man, I
Yeah.
just love getting to meet you today.
Yeah, the weird thing is that I'm in IT, so
Oh, yeah. I
but
had
I use
someone that worked in
Teams, right?
IT and they told me, they said the most common fix. I said, what's your most common fix? They're like, turn it on or plug it in. Yeah.
I
So,
have, I have Teams, so maybe that's what the problem was on my computer. So, but my wife does Zoom all the time. She's a teacher,
yeah,
so
they have
it's not
to.
great.
Good. I'm liking it. I was kind of afraid of it. I thought you had to be real techie, but I have my son does that part for me, so it works pretty well. But thank you for doing this so much. It's just been great meeting all you guys. I've been doing several of these. I've done about 10 of them so far, and it's just been a blast getting to know you guys. And I was kind of shied away from doing it because I just thought it would be, overwhelming having to do. But I've just enjoyed it so much. I feel wonderful after talking to you guys. Of course, I haven't
Well,
met someone who's not satisfied yet, so maybe that'll change. But
no, well, it's a pleasure for me as well to talk with you.
so where are you from, Steve?
I'm in Virginia,
Okay.
quite a ways from Texas, but we've been to
Yes.
Texas a few times.
Okay. Where did you go in Texas?
Galveston, Austin. My favorite country singers from Del Rio,
And
Texas.
who is that?
Radney Foster, you ever heard of him?
I don't think I have.
From
I
the
don't think I have.
90s. Used to be in a band called Foster and Lloyd, had a big country hit, and then went on his own. And he writes for a lot of people, but some
Okay.
of his songs are like "Don't Call Me Lonesome," and
Oh, I think I have heard it.
Yeah,
Okay.
that not a
You
radio
know
play
what?
back then.
I bet I do know. I just don't know his name, but I bet I do
Yeah,
know.
yeah, he's big, and he's only about I think maybe a few hours from you, from
Okay.
Waco. So
Yeah, we're in Waco. We're known for many things.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's neat. Yeah. Galveston, I'm not so fond of just because it's, I don't know. But Austin, I love going to Austin. Yeah, and everything in Texas is pretty much on I-35 there. You know,
Oh, is
most of
that
the
right?
rest of it's just out in the weeds and sticks. But so you sound like you're a music guy. So you're not just someone who, you know, kind of does music on the side. You want to play a little piano. You want to learn one song. You're a music guy. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I get my earliest memories are singing when I was a little kid in school.
Yeah.
Probably singing too much, and then my parents bought me a Dan electric guitar in '72 or '73. Took some less. I still have that guitar, believe it or not. It's
Wow.
how old it is now. Yeah. So once I figured out I couldn't play the F chord on the guitar, you know, I
Yeah.
have to switch. I said, no, I
Yeah.
can't do these bar chords. So then I said, well, let me try the piano because I like to sing, and
Yeah.
but it's a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It
Yeah.
really is. And I could sing strumming a guitar for
Sure.
the most part, but I cannot do it on the piano. So I'm not
Like,
giving up.
oh, so still to this day, you're kind of working on that. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
different. I've played both as well. Are you better on piano or guitar, do you think, or is it the same?
but I don't mess around with the guitar anymore. I mean, so I started looking for teachers online. That's how I found you. But first, I
Okay.
found someone who said, well, piano is just target practice, so it should be a lot easier. I'm thinking, well, I don't have to do an F chord on the piano. Piece of
Yeah.
cake. But
Yeah.
eventually, I found your site and I've stuck with you pretty much since what, almost 2017, I think.
Wow. So quite a while, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
7 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. So what was it about my lessons that kind of worked for you that didn't work with
Well,
others?
certainly the letters, instead of music notation, that helped.
Yeah.
It just kind of made sense to me. I like the way you broke those songs up into manageable lessons. I did. And actually I liked the songs that you had too, because a lot of sites will do music and everything, but nothing interesting. Very
Yeah.
few things. I mean, I instantly went to your site and I found I love Barry Manilow, Billy
Yeah.
Joel, things, and then some other crazy thing, even classical. I've dove into thinking, what it's like, but I really enjoy learning those pieces. Those are easy pieces. I'm a
Yeah.
total beginner.
Okay.
Even after 7 years on your site, I'm probably one notch above a
You're
beginner, but
probably
totally
better than you're
satisfying.
saying. You're probably very humble, better than you're saying you are. But if
Uh,
you can play any of those, that Barry Manilow, that's
oh
definitely
yeah, yeah.
intermediate. So
Well, that's
yeah, you're
that's one
not
example right there. Okay, let me give you an example. Barry Manilow, "Somewhere in the Night."
okay.
Okay, I can sing that song. Whatever, it might not sound, but I can sing it. Hear the music in my head, the tempo, everything. But when I play it, and I can play almost the whole song, I lose it. I can't hear it at the same time. I don't know if there's a disconnect or one day I'll get over that, but like I said, I'm not giving up.
So explain that a little more. I'm not quite getting what you're saying there. The how you're losing it.
So if I was to sing that song with the radio, right,
Yeah.
in my head, if I turn that music off, I could still sing the song and hear the music playing in my head and follow
Okay.
along.
Okay.
But when I play the music on the piano,
Oh, okay.
although if I don't sing, I can play the song through with notes, but if I try to sing while I'm playing, I don't, there's a disconnect. Something breaks down and I can't play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure it's a common thing, maybe, but
It is. It takes just. It's one of those things. It's like a skill you learn. It's not like you have to learn it on every song. And once you get that skill, the hang of it, then you can apply it to everything else. And something I'm going to do because I think that I'm trying to constantly improve my lessons. I'm 50, going to be 51 this year, and I'm still trying to get better myself. And what I've started trying to do, and this is a little more time consuming, but I think it helps, is all of you guys seem to sing and play and like to perform. So putting the words where they go in the
yeah.
accompaniment so that you can see this word goes right here. But if it's not on the beat, I'll put the word right before it so that you know exactly where you're singing that syllable. And I think that will really help. What do you think? You think that's a good
I,
idea?
I think it's Fantastic. I know it'll be a lot more work for you, but yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I'll write it out and think, okay, why am I not getting this? Am I starting
Yeah.
to sing on the wrong beat or something like that? Or yeah, that
Right.
would be tremendous.
And some people aren't, when you look at traditional sheet music, they don't actually put the word where it actually really goes. It'll be to
Yeah.
the left or the right. So you don't really know where to sing it in the beat. So that's going to be my thing, is putting the syllable where it actually goes so that you know exactly where you're going to sing that syllable. And I think what will happen, it'll be like starting an engine. Won't quite start for a few days for you, and then once it starts, you'll be off to the races. Because you say you
Oh,
have music in your head, you're singing all the time. That's
yeah.
people that are really musically talented. That's what they report. That doesn't mean that a lot of people that have a lot of talent don't play anything. Got to use it, to develop it. But the fact that you sing all the time in your head since you were a kid, music's going in your head all the time. That's what happens with talented people in that area, whether you use it or not. So I feel like that's what's going to happen for you, because I've seen it happen for people. And
Great.
the that moment where they go, "Oh no, I can do this," is I like to see their face, and when that moment happens, I probably won't get to see that for you, but I would love to be there when that moment happens for you. But I'm going to start doing that. That's what I'm thinking, because I'm hearing people like you saying this. I can play, I can sing, but I just can't get the two connected. So I think putting the syllables in there just so you can get know where it goes, and then after, you won't need that after a while. It's just something that'll keep coming back to you as you take what you learned to other songs. So that's my take on that. But
Wonderful. Yeah,
yeah.
great.
So you mentioned the letters, on the whiteboard. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I call
Love it.
my a
Love it.
tablature system or whatever. But it's not that far away from reading music, because the notes are still in the same place. Higher notes higher on the page, and you still go left to right. And I try to notate rhythms sometimes, so it's not that far removed from actual reading piano music. I've just taken out that having to learn that skill of reading all those dots on the page, which takes a long time, for a lot of
Yeah.
people. And it takes no musical talent at all to learn how to read music. People are kind of blows their mind when I say that, but that's really true. And you can have all the musical talent in the world and have trouble reading music. So they're not necessarily one doesn't go with the other. And so I'm glad to hear that the lettering system's working for you.
Yeah.
And I just recently did a Barry Manilow for you. And
Yes,
have
you
you learned to
did.
play that one yet? How's that going?
You know, I wanted to learn that song for so long, right? And I mean, I could be on your site forever and never learn half the songs that I want to learn. I totally
Yeah,
get that. And that's a good thing, you know.
yeah,
And I, before I sent that in, I'm thinking, should I ask him what's the level of difficulty for this song? I really had a hard time with that. I'm thinking, because if it's too hard, I'm not going to ask you. But then
yeah,
I still want to learn it. So I
sure.
took a chance, and I get, again, this is me, typical on your site. I'll go in and I'll find something I like, Billy Joel about him, and I'll learn the introduction, right? All the way up to the melody or
Okay.
the main part of it. And then I lose it because I can't hear that part in I can hear the beginning, but then I lose it on the piano, and then I'll just go on to something else. So I just
Yeah.
learn bits and pieces of tons of songs. My
Uh
family's like, when are you gonna finish a song? So this is the Billy Joel song you gave, or the Barry Manilow songs I learned beginning, and then
Yes.
I couldn't hear it at the end. I just lost it, so I put it off to the side.
Yeah.
So I will continue with it, and so grateful for you for doing that. One day I'll learn.
Yeah. And when you say you lose it, you're talking about being able to sing and play it. You don't mean you can't play it.
Sometimes even without singing it, I just can't hear the song in my head.
Yeah.
So I'm playing along and I'm trying to follow along, and then I'm playing that main section, and just like every other song, it seems like, and I don't hear it.
And what you're looking at as a failure is actually a good thing that you're doing. Like because if you're having trouble with something, there's a point where you go, I'm going to go to something else. And then
Yeah,
you try that something else. And
yeah,
then you go to something else. You're always trying new things. What most people do, which I wish they would do what you would do. But what most people do is they put all this pressure. I got to learn this one song. If I can't learn this one song, I'm terrible. I'm junk. And they quit. over that one song, over one section. I couldn't play this solo, even though I could play the rest of it, and they quit. But you move on to something else, and you're always, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And all
Yeah,
these little
yeah.
parts and pieces. I mean, if you go long enough and you put enough time, it's going to start coming together like a painting, where all these little pieces, these little colors will just meld together, and you'll be able to do some of the stuff you've always wanted to do because you never stopped, because you kept going to another song, and you never quit. So I wish more people would do it the way you're doing, because you feel
All
like
right.
that's, a failure on your part, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
So, yeah. And I
I'm
wanted
a
to add
role
something too.
model. It's awesome.
So you're into Barry Manilow. What else do
Yeah.
you like to play,
Billy
Steve?
Joel most. I really love Billy Joel, his
Oh,
songs.
yeah, me too.
Definitely different. I mean, I've delved in, and again, I'm not that good, but even though I've been at your site for a while, but I'm not afraid to delve into. Actually, I'm doing New York State of Mind now,
Oh, I love
and
that
I
song.
can get the first part, and it's going along. And to me, that's almost enough. It's like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never thought I'd be able to play that and make it sound like the song sounds.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
not as fast, right? But eventually that would come.
And
So
Steve, you've mentioned that a lot of the songs you want to play, you don't find on other sites, but you find on mine. So why do you
yes,
think that is? I have an answer, but I'm asking why you think that there's so many songs on there that you like, that you're going, oh, this is on here. I want to play this. Oh, I can't believe this is on here. Why do you think that happens on my site?
why it happens on your site or why it's not on other people's site?
Yeah, same question. Yeah, why are those songs
Okay.
you want to play showing up on my site, and you might go to another one and they don't have much that I want to play? Why does my site have a lot that you want to play? Why do you think?
I don't know. Maybe you
I've
just
got
love
an
music
answer.
as much as we do. Oh, you do? I found a couple Billy Joel songs on other sites, but it it, it was like their own way of doing it. This is the way I'm going to play it. It's not
Yeah,
exactly how it's recorded, and it's similar, but
yeah,
then again, they'll go too fast, or they
yeah.
won't write the notation down. I mean, it's all this big combination where you really give that to your students. So
Steve,
I mean, I don't
it's
know
like you're
why the
following my
songs are there.
script. There's
Oh,
a
I am.
script. Yeah, it's like all the points that people have told me that are good about my website or whatever, or my teaching. I'm supposed to try to hit, but you're getting there before I get there. So it's like I gave you the thing
Awesome.
ahead of time. um,
Awesome. Now you have it.
so I want to answer that. The reason that I think there's so many songs on there that you want to play, that you like, oh, it's on here, this is great, that they don't find it on others, is because you guys are the ones who have chosen everything that's on there. From the very beginning, I did the hide request thing, I call it. And I did that out of necessity because I needed to buy, bread and have paid the bills and everything. And so, but it just kept going. So everything that's on there are songs that you guys have chosen, and you guys are music people, and you tend to like the same things. You seem to have the same good taste in music. That's not me, brother. I'm not. If I were picking it out, it wouldn't be as good as it is, the library. But you guys choose a song, and I have been educated about music through what you guys are choosing. That's why there's so many Elton John and Billy Joel songs on there, because you guys are choosing that. So many Barry Manilow songs too. You guys are choosing those for the high request, and you pick good versions. Sometimes a live version is way better than an album version, and I don't know which one to pick, but you guys do, and you show me that, and I'm like so happy to be able to do it. I'm doing the lesson, and I'm like, I can't believe I get to do this for a living. It's so fun. It's a blast. But that's why I think, because you guys choose the library for 17 years, that's the way I've done it. And yeah, I'm very happy to hear you say that. And the other thing you mentioned is that if someone does a Billy Joel song, that it's their rendition of it, or it's the way they would do it, or their styling. From the very beginning, when I started doing this, I've always wanted to be like the album. If I want to play something, I want to play it how Billy Joel's playing it. I want to play it how Barry Manilow's playing it. I want to learn the skill of vamping that he does when he vamps on a chord. So I want to do it like him. I don't want someone's interpretation. I don't want elevator music. I want the real deal. And I think there are a lot of you out there who want that too. So you're not satisfied with sheet music that just has melody in the right hand and just nice to hear, in the store while you're grocery shopping. You want to hear the real thing. So that's what I've always stuck to too, which was kind of a leap, because everyone else is doing melody in the right hand, and I'm sticking with what the artists are playing, but you guys are loving it, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, absolutely true. The other thing I noticed what you're saying is the version that people pick out, because I'm a huge, probably semi-obsessed Frank Sinatra guy,
Okay, me too.
and you are. So I love his early stuff, like the 40s and 50s.
Oh yeah.
And what I've noticed is I drive my family crazy. I noticed that I'll latch on to a certain version of a Frank Sinatra song, and then when I'll go get another version, I might not even like that version.
Right.
It's
Right.
the same song by the same singer, but the
Yeah.
arrangement, how they put it together, how he voiced it is just totally different. And I'm not talking about fast or slow. Isn't it a weird thing?
I know what you mean.
Version.
Yeah. Right. Because the musicians had their creative room there to do different things if they wanted to do that. You mentioned the 40s and 50s. That's probably the greatest time for American music to me. And I love all the new stuff. I love rock and roll. But as far as American music goes, that's probably the height of the creativity and just music itself was written the best, I think, during that time, even though it's not, the style that was coming later. To me, after getting into it, and you guys, I have to thank as well for getting me into that because I'll have people, do this Frank Sinatra song, do this, this old, crooner song, and
Mhm.
I love doing that as well.